Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Tom Foster, and this is Talk of the Town. I'm with Iris Dunham, my producer, my director, my editor, and Miss Everything. And as you look behind me, you see all these beautiful boats. It's summertime. And when you think of summertime, what do you think of? You think the beach. You think your town. You think of out in your boats. Well, today we're going to be talking to someone who's the new dock master here in Clinton and talking about his background, what drew him to Clinton, and then we'll talk about some of the things relative to the town dock. So again, if you have any questions about this show or any other show, you have things you'd like us to come out and film, let us know at iris.dunham@clintonpublic.net. So now, as I said, we have the new dock master. We have a new sheriff in town, and that's Rob Deary. And Rob, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it. Love being here, and who's got a better job than me right now?
That's exactly right. Now, how long have you been in Clinton?
So I've been in Clinton since 1999. My wife and I moved here prior to us having kids, and we just fell in love with the town, the geographic setup so close to the water, the beautiful harbor that we're standing next to right now, and really the school systems. I have a son that's going to be a senior at UConn right now who went through the Clinton school system, and my daughter who's going to be a senior at Morgan. And all along the way, we really had nothing but positive things to say about the school system, and really it did well by my kids, without a question.
That's great. Now, you say you came here in 1999. Where were you before that?
So prior to that, my wife and I were married in 97, and we were living in Guilford at the time in a rental and looking for a house, and luckily we found new construction here in town up off of Egypt Lane, Stonewall Lane. We were there for over 20 years, and then luckily we moved down to your neck of the woods off of Commerce down at Country Club Estates, where we've been for the last 2 years, and it's every day is like vacation living.
That's absolutely true. And I say people are, well, what drew you here? And I guess it's this environment, right? It's the people. But let me put words in your mouth. What would you say?
No, you're absolutely right. It's the beautiful location of where we live. I mean, we take this for granted all too often that we live in a vacation spot.
Right.
Especially this time of year. So we love the shoreline of Connecticut. Clinton, we didn't know much about until we started looking to buy a home. And then we started talking to people, and I can tell you over the 20 plus years that I've been here, I've made some lifelong friends. I was in the original band Rock Bottom when we first started with Pete and I, Rich Piazzantini and the others. So we started that band up, which has been going on for many, many years. I'm like their backup drummer now because I didn't have time to keep up with everything. But, just a good group of people. I call them my family now. Just being here all these years, and just very, very thankful for that.
That's great. As a matter of fact, Pete and I was going to be doing the football games with me. We were talking about different things going on in town, and I mentioned I had heard some music being played in my backyard, and I said, I wonder where it was coming from. And he said it was his band. I said, what's your band? He said, Rock Bottom, one of my favorite bands on the shoreline.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I guess that was started as a neighborhood band, right?
It was. It started by Rich Piazzantini, myself, and Pete and I. We all lived in the same neighborhood back then, and just started talking. I used to play the drums, and Pete was a singer in his church choir, and Rich played keyboard, and we started playing along with it, and it developed into what it is now.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah.
Now, what's the rest of your background? Now, you've, from what I understand, you were in the state police for quite a few years.
Yeah, so I just retired in March after a 32-year law enforcement career.
Would you start when you were 10?
Yeah, thanks. That's because I shaved today. You just can't see my gray beard. But, so I did start when I was 20 years old. I was a local police officer for almost 5 years, and then I came on to the state police at 25. I did 28 years there, retired as a lieutenant. Back in March, and so what I've been doing is just I was lucky enough to come across this position here, which as soon as I heard about it, I put my name in the ringer and to see if they'd be interested in me, and luckily they were. I love it. This is a great spot right around the corner from my house. It's a beautiful spot here. All the guys that work here with us, most of them are high school and college folks. They're great guys. And just really the people that we interact with each day, they're really just down to earth, nice people. I mean, who's not happy coming down to go onto their boat?
Right. Unless the boat's broken down.
Well, that's a whole nother issue. We don't really deal with that. But so I had that long career. I still have a couple other jobs that I've been dealing with beyond retirement. So I'm quite frankly, I'm a little bit busier now, I think, than when I was actually working full time in my law enforcement career. But it was time to go, and a lot of us did retire for a bunch of different reasons, with pension changes and things like that. So a lot of my lifelong friends from that world, we all retired and moved on to different things. So yeah, I'm very, very happy. I'm very lucky to be here, and hopefully this job is going to be around for a little while.
That's absolutely right. Well, we hope you have it here for quite a while. When I said new sheriff in town, boy, I wasn't kidding. We really do have a new sheriff in town. Now let's talk a little bit about the docks, the town docks. How many slips do you actually have at the town docks?
So we have 55 slips here. And then we also have what are called stakes. So if you see behind me, the sailboats that are out there between the pylons, Those are called stakes.
Okay.
So we have a total of 18 stakes that are made for the sailboats, which people have to have dinghy access to bring out. And you can see the dinghies behind me. That's what they use to get in and out. So we do have quite a few customers here, and really all the docks are full. And what they do is by October 1st, if you're interested in applying for a dock, there's a form online on the Clinton website under Clinton Town Marina, and you have to get that in with a deposit check by October 1st.
Okay.
So basically all the slip holders that we have right now have first crack to continue on with their slip. Should they give it up, that creates an opening for somebody that's on the waiting list. And those openings are filled through a lottery system by the Harbor Commission. And so we'll see how that works this year. Like I said, we're pretty full right now, although some of the slips you see, there aren't boats there. That's either the boats are out or they're getting repaired. But every slip here is full.
So if I come down here, well, you obviously must keep track of those people that are here this year that have the right of first refusal. So if I wanted to get a slip, or if I didn't want to waste my time going to the lottery, I'd probably want to come here and see how many opens are you actually going to have.
Right, and we really don't know that to the end of the year to see who's going to reapply by October 1st, because even the current slip holders have to give a reapplication and a deposit for their slip prior to October 1st. So after October 1st, whatever's left is what's going to go into the lottery. And from what I understand, we do have a list of people that would be willing to move in here. And the short time I've been here, last 3 weeks, 3-4 weeks, I fielded many calls about any availability here. So this is actually a pretty hot spot, and we do get a lot of transient people.
Okay.
We do have a limited amount of dockage for people to stay here overnight or two nights.
Yep.
We had 2 people here last night at the end. So that fills up too, and it's the town makes money on this, you know. So we have the boat ramp over there.
Right. And how active is that?
That's very active, and that's probably takes up most of our day monitoring that boat ramp. It's a $20 access fee to use the ramp, and it's you can buy a season pass for a town resident, which includes Clinton and Killingworth.
Okay.
Those are considered town residents. That'd be $60 for the season. If you're a non-town resident, it's $120 for the season, unlimited access to the ramp. And what I found out as I'm learning into this job is that there aren't a lot of boat access ramps in the area other than Old
Right.
Saybrook. Here, there's a DEP ramp kind of off a beaten path in Madison. So this one is actually pretty busy, and we do get a lot of traffic in here.
Okay, a couple of questions based on what we just said. First of all, on a typical year, how many openings will you have for the lottery system?
So that I don't have the answer to that question, being that this is my first year. So I will definitely find out very soon. I would imagine there's always a few people that either move on or try to sell their boat or whatever the case may be. So I would say that it's going to be a small number if there is a number. But you know, we'll take it as it comes. And like I said, I don't really have any fear that's going to get filled very quickly.
Now, what about parking? Because it looks like there's limited parking here. Where do these people park that have their boats here?
So right behind the dock office is a dirt parking lot that is ideally used for boat owners here, as well as the residents of Cedar Island.
Oh, okay.
So between both of them, we usually have enough space there. If it overflows where it's a busy weekend and we don't have room for them, we can put them in the parking lot here. Obviously, we have trailer parking over here for the boat trailers and regular car parking. And then if we really get busy and jammed up, which has only happened a couple times in the short time I've been here, we go down on Riverside past the opening to the marina down there, and you're able to park along the side of the road.
And then they have to walk up here?
Then they have to walk up here, right.
Wow.
But that 4th of July weekend, there's only a small handful of people that had to do that. So luckily, we've been able to monitor, and that's part of what we do down here. We monitor the parking, we monitor the boat ramp. You know, our guys keep track of making sure this place is clean and presentable. They put the flags up every morning. You know, this is what's called the jewel of Clinton, right?
Sure.
This whole harbor area.
Yep.
And the town has invested quite a bit over the years, redoing the bulkhead, putting up all this nice walkway here. So they really have invested quite a bit into it, and it's really a beautiful spot. As you can see by the docks are all relatively new.
Oh, they're in great shape.
Yeah, they were replaced, I guess, a few years back. And part of what our job here is, with myself and the guys, we go out and make sure the docks are clean. Sometimes we scrub them. You know, it's just making sure that everything is running smooth and that, you know, we make the town of Clinton look good.
That's great. Well, it looks pretty good to me. Now, I also notice, like, I'll come here on a weekend, and it's nice you also have a restaurant right here, so if people come to the docks, they can get food right here. It's really nice, and it's open till like 7 or 8 o'clock at night, right?
Right. So I believe the only day they're closed is Tuesday, from what I understand. But Monday, Wednesday through Friday, they're open 11 to 7. And then I believe on the weekends they're open at 8 in the morning till 7 at night. So they only really do breakfast on the weekends. That's Lives. But we also have other options here. You know, that's another good spot being down here, is that this is one of the few spots on the shoreline that is set up like this.
You can walk there. So many different restaurants right in this area.
Right, we got Aqua over here, Shanks, the Lobster Landing, Lives. So we have plenty of options for people when they come down here. And for the boaters, they all love this area because it's a protected harbor here.
Right.
So if it's really, really choppy out on the sound, well, they're going to come in here and it's going to be pretty smooth.
Sure.
And between all the different marinas, the town marinas, you got Cedar Island over there, you got Harborside, and there's a bunch of them up the river. So there's always places for people to go. So we all try to work together, and you know what our mission here is at the town dock is for everybody to have a good time, be safe with what they do, and we're here to service and help people out when they come in.
That's great. Now, you know, we've got a lot of transient, not really transient, but people live over in Cedar Island, and obviously the only way you can get there is by boat. Do you dedicate any spaces to the people over there that are coming over here to park here?
Yeah, so actually a handful of people here are also Cedar Island residents.
Okay.
And we do find spots for them to put their dinghies or to put their small boats while they go in and out.
Okay.
Part of the town dock is also on Cedar Island. There is a dock out there.
Oh, really?
And that is actually part of the Clinton Town dock system.
So that's under your jurisdiction as well.
It is. And so the metal dock was replaced by the Town of Clinton Harbor Commission a few years back. And then when you look out there, you'll see an old wooden dock. That is actually the Cedar Island Association. They manage that. But the main dock going out where everybody puts their boats is under the town dock.
Wow. Now, as I was saying, when I come down here on the weekends, I noticed that you have a certain area over there that's dedicated just to the boats and their trailers.
Yes.
Do you ever get to a point where they can't get all the trailers in here?
Yes, periodically. It doesn't happen all too often, but you know, on the weekends, the holidays, it gets really, really busy. We suspect with this hot weather, and if the weather holds true for the weekend, we're going to be busy again. And what we do, the same thing I just mentioned down on Riverside, if we fill up with our boat parking here, we have a few spots right over by the beach next to Aqua that are dedicated for boat trailers. And then so what we do is if we go beyond that, we go down Riverside and we have a designated area, that signage that is there for the overflow parking for the boat trailers and for regular vehicles.
Nice. Now, when the people come down and they're going to launch their boats, anybody can launch their boat there. It's just a matter of how much they're going to pay.
Correct. It's open to the public.
Yep.
Like I said, it's a $20 fee for anybody.
Yep.
But again, then you have the ramp passes if you want to buy one for the calendar year or for the year to date, which is like $60 for town residents and then $120 for non-resident.
And is there any limit on how many boats will launch from there?
No, it's just, you know, they wait in line if it gets busy, and we go out there and monitor it and make sure everything's done safely. And you know, there's quite a bit of signage out there so people can really see for themselves how it's supposed to go. And you know, boaters are usually pretty respectful people, and they watch out for each other. So you know, there have been times where the guys had to go out there and kind of direct a little bit of traffic on the ramp to let people in and out. And some people are better at getting their boats in and out than others, so some takes a little more time. So you know, we all work together, and we'll go out there and give people a hand. And yeah, we're here to help.
That's great. Now, the other thing I noticed too is the police boat is docked here.
Yes.
And do you have any interaction with a police boat? Because I've seen them go out several times.
Well,
how do you interact with them as dockmaster?
Well, I really don't. It's all run through the police department. Okay. So the police department handles the staffing and the scheduling of their police boat. Yep. You know, we really don't. We interact with them just on a friendly basis because we know each other.
Sure.
And that goes true with the fire department boat that's right next to the police boat. Yep. So that is there all the time. The fire department boat stays there year-round, just in case of emergencies. I believe in short sessions of the winter, the police boat will come out. But we also deal with the Shellfish Commission is very active here as well. And I can't really expound on what they do to the extent that somebody from the Shell Commission can, but I know they're planted and set up a shellfish bed out there.
Oh, nice.
That they really go out there and check periodically. And we've had federal organizations come down here and film the breeding of this shellfish.
Really?
So yeah, it's quite an interesting experience. A lot of stuff that I never knew until I started down here. So there's a lot of activity going down here, and we're very happy that people come here every day.
And of course, another hat that you wear that we failed to mention is you're also a police commissioner.
I am. I was elected police commissioner a couple years back. I got another little over a year left on this particular term. But again, I just wanted to get involved and help out. And luckily we have a very, very good group of police commissioners in town we're all here for the right reasons to support the police department. And I got to give credit where credit is due. Chief DeMayo and his staff, they do a phenomenal job.
Yeah, Vincent does a great job.
They really do, and they're very invested in the town. I know them all personally, and they're just good people. And we're very, very lucky to have the 27 police officers here in the town of Clinton that we do have. And that goes true with the fire department. Sure. All the fire department, the chief from all the way down, they're just all good people that are so invested and do whatever they can to help out the town.
Well, it's funny you said that, because a lot of people, when I ask what drew you to Clinton, what do you think makes Clinton great, and everybody says people.
Yeah, it really is. Everybody's down to earth here. You see it like at the different festivals that go on here. One of the big things we'll have coming up is the fireworks for the Summerfest on the 27th of August. And I'm already working on the staffing down here, because from what I understand, this is a very, very busy spot when that happens throughout the day and into the evening for the fireworks display. So we'll make sure that we have enough signage, enough help here to direct people, to help people, and to make sure that everybody is here and has a safe and has a great time. We all work together, and it's just a great spot.
So if people want to come down and watch the fireworks, will they be allowed to go out on the docks and watch them?
Well, good question. I would say to a certain degree, maybe, but you're not really going to have to. I mean, you sit up here on the bulkhead and set your chairs up, and there's plenty of area over there next to the beach on the grass. You'll be able to see them clear as a whistle. So, we try to monitor the docks. 'Cause, again, we don't want anybody falling in, hurting themselves. So, that's something we'll have to make a game time decision on. But again, in these docks, we don't want to overload the docks and have pack-to-pack people. So, so we'll figure out how it goes. We want to make sure everybody has fun, and so we get good weather for that, and we all can enjoy it.
Right. I noticed you have one of your assistants here. We just saw Mike. Did Mike leave? Is Mike here?
Mike might be out. Oh, there he is.
Okay. Is he coming up?
Yep, there he is.
We just wanted. This is one of your helpers and one of your mates.
This is one of the dock supervisors. This is
Mike. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing today?
Look at the camera. Say hi to Iris.
How you doing?
So how long have you been doing this?
Actually, it's my first year this year.
Oh, is it really? Yeah. Now I understand you're a Morgan graduate.
I am. I graduated in 2013.
2013. Great. Now I guess you played sports there, right?
Yeah, I played football and basketball for 2 years, and I did baseball.
Good. Yeah. Which sport did you like the best?
I was definitely more of a football guy. I definitely enjoyed football a lot, but I pretty much enjoyed the other two as well. It was just depending on. It was great having something to do every season.
Now, do you live in Clinton?
I still live in Clinton. Yeah.
Now, what drew your parents to Clinton? How long you been here? Your parents?
My whole life. Yeah, my parents have been here for at least I think 30 years, 33, 35, something like that. And what drew them here was, like Rob, it's a beautiful place to live. They were looking for a house. They were already married at the time, and they settled around here off of Long Hill near Elliott.
Okay, good. And he also has an interest in production, just like my friend Iris behind the camera. Of course, Iris eventually wants to be in front of the camera and on the sidelines for ESPN, which we're going to have to work on. But we're also trying to recruit Mike to do our football games, and hopefully we'll be able to do that and be a lot of fun. But isn't it great to live in a town like this where everybody sort of comes together in a community atmosphere?
It definitely is, and especially like when you go away to college. Like I went away to Western New England I was up there for 2 years, and before I ended up switching majors and leaving. But I made some lifelong friends from up there, and you really take it for granted until you bring people down here that don't live by the shoreline, and they come down here and they're like, man, I wish I lived here. And you just get all those reactions. It's like it definitely humbles you a bit in terms of, like, 'cause some people definitely complain about it.
Really like you said, Rob, it's almost like we're taking these things for granted that we live in Paris.
Go get a lobster roll. They're great.
Yeah. And that's a very interesting thing down here, all these different restaurants and all these different foods to pick from. And I'm sure, having grown up here, you must have been down in these areas for a long time.
Yeah, a ton of time. Spent a lot of time on my bike going around town with a bunch of my buddies.
And you, like myself, you've seen a lot of these restaurants that have changed so many times in their names, and everything just keeps on going.
Oh, it has, and it's going to keep going.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, Mike, thank you so much, and we hopefully we'll be able to see you in football this year. And so, Rob, if you had to summarize, what's so nice about the town docks that people should come and really take advantage of, what would it be?
Well, it's pictures worth 1,000 words, right? So if you look behind me with the camera and just seeing where we live, you would think that this is Cape Cod. Right? I just got back from Cape Cod from a family vacation, and when I came back here, I feel like I'm still on vacation. Right? Because this is a beautiful area. Like I said, the people are awesome. There's things to do here, and we just got to take advantage of it. So we're just very, very lucky, very fortunate, and I hope this continues.
And one last question. We keep saying the dock master. What does what's your responsibility as dock master?
So as the Clinton Town Marina Dock Master, I just kind of basically run the day-to-day operation here. I report to the Harbor Management Commission. They kind of oversee everything down here, and we just keep it running every day. Between the schedule for posting our people here, that we're here 7 in the morning, 7 at night, definitely between Memorial Day and Labor Day, but we usually start in April and we'll go into October, depending on the weather. So we're very, very busy here. So I just make sure that the staff is going smooth. We have everything that we need. We get a great amount of support through Todd Hayjack, the Public Works Director, who helps us out with supplies and things that we may need here. So it's really a true team mentality that everybody works together. And we just try to make it fun and make it as smooth as possible for everybody, and just everybody to have a great time.
And I'm sure with your state police training and the regiment that you go through and the mindset you go through and having to deal with so many diverse issues, this is like a piece of cake for you.
Oh, this is great. I love talking to people. I can sit out here and talk to people and realize, oh, geez, my day's over. I got to go. So that's why we like having people come down here, because we love chit-chatting and being able to help people answer questions or help them out on the docks or whatever. It's just a nice spot. I mean, look at the weather. You can't beat it. I got the best tan of my life this year. So things are going pretty well.
Well, Rob, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Tom.
And hopefully this will be the first of many years you'll be here as our dock master.
I hope so.
And hopefully when my last show is shown, you'll be right there and we'll be able to say, geez, remember way back then, Rob, when we did that first interview?
Absolutely.
Great.
You better believe it.
Well, good luck to you and your family.
Thanks, Tom.
Okay, well, that wraps up today's interview with Rob Deary, the dock master here in Clinton. I want to thank Iris Dunham. And poor Iris, she's had to deal 3 different events we had to tape in sweat and tears and everything else you can imagine under the sun. So we appreciate Iris for coming, and she came right from her job over here. Really appreciate it, Iris, for all you do for the town and helping me and bringing the good events and nice things about Clinton to all the people around this beautiful town of ours. So again, if you have any ideas, comments, or questions, you can reach us at iris.dunham and clintonpublic.net. And please reach out to Iris. She'd love to hear your comments, and we'd love to get any show that you'd like us to do or any people you'd like us to cover. That's what we're here for. This is a town community event, and we want to make sure we make it the best events we can possibly do. So thank you again for watching. Tom Foster, Iris Dunham, our guest today, Rob Deary, and our friend Mike. We want to thank you and have a great day, and we'll see you again on another upcoming show. Good night, everyone.